Okay. Blerd culture issue number 12. Where nerd is the new black. I'm Troy, and I'm joined by my two co-hosts, Ethan.
It is Ethan. Didn't I tell you that I was established?
and Humps.
24 karat magic in the air.
You better sing.
Thank you. Join us as we discuss the bloodiest topics on a bi-weekly basis. Today we discuss the teens from Angel Grove with super suits and Zords, my Gears of War review, as well as our Luke Cage review. And also tune in to see if we can actually get the show under an hour.
Hey.
Not likely.
Doubt it.
Crazy feat. Not likely. Before we start the show, remember that if you don't like anything we're talking about, skip ahead by checking the timestamps in the description below and find something you actually do like. The Chronic Cools, taken on by Humps. Go right ahead.
Hold on, Troy. You cut out, and I don't think it recorded you saying.
Yeah.
Now for
It didn't?
character. No, I think you have to say it again.
Okay, cool. Which one? The character chronic part or which one?
The whole thing. The whole character chronic part.
All right. With that said, we start with our character Chronic Cools, where each week we'll give a bio on an important character and the impact they've made in the medium, whether it be in TV, comics, or videos. Go right ahead.
All right, so I just want to start off by saying, you ain't got no job, man. So in honor of the passing of actor Tommy Ford this week, character chronicle for this week is going to be Tommy Strawn of the hit 90s sitcom Martin. So
yay.
Tommy is well known for being the bald-headed childhood best friend of Martin and Cole. He was the ladies' man of the group, tall, stylish, well-spoken, and he often played the straight man to balance out Martin's crazy antics and Cole's general uselessness. At the end of the day, though, Tommy really just wanted to, quote, get the draws. His life seemed so together, except for that one little thing. As far as anyone could tell, Tommy ain't have no job. Yet he never missed an opportunity to bring it up. Once he even allegedly got Cole hired where he works, for which Cole went 6 months without ever hearing a start date, a job description, or even an office location. Whatever Tommy's job was, it required a company car, a blowtorch, a clear business card with no words on it, a suit, a tie, and a blindfold. As far as I'm concerned, Tommy was definitely either a hitman, a drug dealer, or the first black James Bond. So Tommy Ford was 1/5 of one of the most iconic sitcom casts of all time, and he played a huge part in making the 90s the dopest era that there ever was. And I just want to thank the dude for doing so much for black representation on TV. He probably didn't even realize how much of a difference he made. So yeah, that's Character Chronicle for today.
Great,
Yeah.
yay. Clever.
I mean,
Rest in peace, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
definitely. Like it's weird always like looking back and like you kind of go back to that time in that era and it's messed up, but you don't really appreciate something until it's gone. Like and Martin, I feel like is such a staple in comedy and especially black comedy, you know, where our shows, you know, either like didn't last or didn't really receive the amount of fame that they really deserved. Right. So it's like big props to like pretty much that whole cast and that whole like era of comedy.
I feel like Martin was like our version of what a lot of people got out of Seinfeld. Just because I guess Seinfeld was very, very relatable for a lot of people. I never related to those storylines, but the Martin storylines, especially now that I'm an adult and I've lived sort of a similar life to them. They're young professionals or whatever. And so it's just so much fun to kind of sit and watch what life might have been like back in the 90s when I was a little kid and I couldn't have imagined being there, you know, being my age now. So man, that show was amazing.
I was going to say,
Tommy did so much for it.
Things on Tommy. One, he was always a G to me because he picked Pam over Gina, and Pam to me is better than Gina. Second, got the GTD the GTD skit in is one of his best moments. That and in the moment when Martin did the interrogation scene where everybody had all black on and he had the
with the CD player.
That Tommy was trying not to laugh the entire time. That's my favorite couple moments with him. Yeah, definitely want to say rest in peace to that man. He was awesome.
He was also one part of the epic. He was also one part of the epic team that took down the monster on Chilligan's Island.
Yes, the monster.
The monster.
So good. But yes, no, for sure. Rest in peace. Y'all, do yourself a favor. Just turn to MTV2 right now. They're always showing a Martin episode.
Yeah, like to be honest, like I definitely need to like go back and rewatch these episodes because I haven't seen most of them since I was a kid. Now that I'm an adult with perspective, like I'm sure I'll appreciate the jokes even more.
Okay, that was like it's like the ultimate Netflix and chill. So now for Planet Bugle. It's our latest news and rumors in the entertainment industry, handed to us by Perry White. And once again, Sean gets the lead.
I'm back. Yeah. All right. So this week we got a new trailer for Power Rangers, and it looks nothing like what the Power Rangers you remember did. It is super dark. It looks super, super cool. Angel Grove does not look like the happy-go-lucky sunny place that it once was back in the 90s. And the Power Rangers now have actual powers. So, thoughts?
Yes.
Yeah, like I'm conflicted. Like I know that it was going to be different, and I don't know what I was expecting. It's like obviously it's not going to be the same Power Rangers. Like you can tell by the footage and the photos and everything from it. But then I saw it, and I'm like, wait, I kind of miss my old Power Rangers. And so it's not really like a valid reason to dislike it because obviously this is like a different thing and like I'm all for like change happening. So like I just need to like tell my child self to like calm down, sit in a corner and like just like enjoy this because I mean I do feel like it has a lot going for it. Like R.G. Seiler playing the Blue Ranger feels absolutely right for me because we need more Blerds. And also Billy was always my favorite Power Ranger. Like
he was my favorite Power Ranger.
Okay.
Like everybody knows Zach was the coolest anyway, so it doesn't matter.
That's a lie.
You can keep Zach. But it's like
keto, what? All right.
It's like the reason why blue is my favorite color is because of Billy. The reason why wolf is my favorite animal is because if you remember in Power Rangers, the first movie, he had the wolf sword. So it's like my identity is partially revolved around Billy the Power Ranger.
But did you wear glasses? Did you wear glasses like Billy the Blue Power Ranger? Because I did. Blue was my favorite color because of Billy. The Triceratops was my favorite dinosaur because of Billy, which came.
All right, we get it, you guys. You are long lost best friends. I get it. All right. So my thoughts on the Power Rangers trailer is I thought it was really cool. I love the hidden like they brought the music back like in like a symphonic form. Very, very, very subtle, but I thought that was a cool nod. I love how they didn't show Zordon yet. Obviously, it was listed as a teaser trailer, so they didn't give too much. Like I'm glad they didn't show the entire suits because that reveal is going to be awesome to me. I like I do like all the cast. I like how even people were fronting on Becky G or whatever, but I'm like she's a teen. Like just let her rock or whatever. So and the cast is once again my favorite thing ever, a diverse cast.
Yeah. And the funny thing about it though is that the Power Rangers never even had it. That is one of very, very few shows that never had a problem with diversity. And that's going all the way back to the 90s. You know what I mean? So it's nice to see that being continued.
Little bit racist though, because it has the Black Ranger as a black guy, the Yellow Ranger as a yellow woman, the Samoan dude as a Red Ranger, the Italian dude as a Green Ranger. Like, come on.
You're thinking too hard.
Yeah, you're starting to reach. No,
that last one's a reach. I apologize.
My thoughts on the trailer. Trailer looks amazing. I'm really excited about it. I'm accepting of this Power Rangers as like a different thing from the Power Rangers that we grew up with and loved. My concerns, because I do have them, is that I'm worried it's going to turn into like a cross between the most recent Fantastic Four movie and Transformers.
Amazing.
Not shining examples of film. but I mean, this already looks like it has just the inherent fun that the Fantastic Four movie lacks. So we'll see. I'm excited. I'm going to stay optimistic, and I will walk into that theater on opening night. very excited.
The Power Rangers sort on. Yeah, I will say it did make me want to go catch that movie Project Almanac, which is the director who did this movie. So they even got the lead actor from that movie to be Jason in this movie. So but no, it comes out next summer. No, is it March? Yes, no, is it March?
I think it's March. I hope I'm not wrong.
I think it's March. In the
I
summer.
think it's March.
Yeah,
it's next. It's in 2017.
It is definitely next year though. Can't wait. Okay, now for this is going to be a fun one. The Dark Knight Returns, you guys.
Hey.
Following the recent state of a spat of creepy clowns scaring children and grown-ups around the UK, a masked gent dressed as Batman has been stepping in. You heard that right. In London right now, dressed up as Batman, who is fighting off these clowns that have been terrorizing the streets. Kids are sending in videos saying how much they love this Batman guy. The police aren't really messing with him because he's doing their work for them. What is going on? This is 2016, yo.
We have superheroes now. I mean, this is what we've been waiting for our whole lives.
This. Like I can't. Okay, what upsets me the most about this story is that it didn't upset me. Like 2016 has been so. I'm just like, yeah, this is happening. This is a reality. This is the life we're living. Like that's how nonsensical 2016 has been. Like grown adult human beings are dressing up like clowns and terrorizing people. Like, do you not have jobs? How are you able to do this with your life? There's so many questions that my brain has like overloaded, and like I physically, emotionally cannot.
We just sort of accept this as normal now. This is just the world.
Yeah, this is happening.
I'm just more.
This is
a full-blown Christopher Nolan verse Batman suit. Like it's a legit Batman suit with the cowl and everything that Christian Bale wore in his movies. It's very like it looks like he made it himself. There is a picture of him actually chasing a clown, which is like right out of a comic book. I just want to know if I could be a sidekick. I would like.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I feel like this is our opportunity to like become superheroes now.
I know it's legal to beat up clowns as long as you don't kill them.
It could be like Kick-Ass. We could all be superheroes.
Yeah, I can live my dream of being Nightwing.
I mean, obviously, that's where my mind went because I had to look at something positive, and I thought, well, this is it. This is how I become Robin, and so that's the one bright spot to all this.
First Black Robin.
Yes.
I'm gonna get an Airbnb to London and then just chill there for like 2 weeks. Get my hip hop keto in. So, but yeah, and I'm done.
All right. Well, moving on to DC news. This is the fictitious world, not the real world, which is even zanier. The Suicide Squad extended cut digitally on November 15th and on Blu-ray December 13th. This cut offers 13 minutes of additional content, and we can assume it will feature Harley and Joker. So I'm fully expecting when this comes out for people to pull a complete 180. Like, this movie was the best thing ever. Mm-hmm. But in all seriousness, like, I feel like I hope that this will help make this film feel less rushed, because even as like a fan that knows his stuff about this team, it felt rushed, like especially the first time I saw it. So hopefully this helps with the pacing more than anything, because that was like a very big complaint by a lot of people.
Yeah. It's funny. I didn't check it. I didn't watch it a second time because I felt like there's going to be an extended edition to this movie. Like I'm like, I would rather, because mind you, I saw Batman versus Superman 3 times in the theater, and then I caught the Ultimate Edition 4th time, and I'm like, if they're going to do this again. I felt like after watching Suicide Squad the first time, I was like, I feel like there's going to be an extended edition with that, especially with how much Joker stuff I heard they cut out. So I'm like, I'm excited, but I'm I'm excited because it's more DC stuff, but I'm annoyed because why does it take the Blu-ray versions of these movies to get the full movie? That's my only thing. Like, I understood for Batman vs Superman because the Batman vs Superman ended up being 3 hours long. You can't put a 3 hour long movie in the theater, right?
Yes, you can. Lord of the Rings did it 6 times.
I mean, that's true. You're right.
Here's why, Troy, because people hate DC period. And so like this is this is the way of saying, hey, so we kind of sort of worked on the things that you mentioned, even though we didn't because it came out, you know, we did this before anyone had anything to say about it.
Sure.
So you can take this into a lighter venue and not be so harsh on it. And because once again, as we discussed with BVS, like that movie, like it definitely shed some light on some things that needed to have light shed on them, but it wasn't like a completely different movie. You know?
I mean, I will say I kind of think it's Warner Brothers. Like, it feels like the directors have this movie that they want and everything they do in these parts of the movies. And then when they get to Warner Brothers is like, you guys, you got to cut some of this stuff down. We got to money. We got to figure out, like, we got to get this into more theaters. So let's cut this stuff down and put this in the thing. When you're you're basically cutting the director's idea down to nothing just for the profit of the stuff. And it honestly is hurting them in the long run because you get such mixed reviews on these things. When the edition came out, it kind of, everyone, like a lot of the people that were hating on it kind of came around on it. So I'm assuming the same thing is going to happen for Suicide Squad. Although I just don't want, my thing is, I just don't want this to be a pattern. Like, give me the full movie the first time. Right. Especially with Wonder Woman coming out, like that, I need that like for this to be the first telling of her story. I don't need nothing cut out. I need every part of that so people can understand why I love Wonder Woman so much.
Well, not just that, but like at this point, they have to get that movie like spot on for the critical and fan reception, because at this point they've kind of put themselves in a position where they don't have a lot of people don't have a lot of faith in DC and WB right now, which is a shame because I mean we all like the movies that they put out, but I also understand why other people might not. And I mean I think a part of it is that one, like if you compare to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, one, a lot more of the general public has a knowledge and a familiarity with DC characters just because they are superhero. They are what you think of when you traditionally think of superheroes. You think of Superman and Batman, not Iron Man and Thor. You know what I mean? So I think people have unfairly high expectations of DC. And then at the same time, I also think that DC is maybe trying a little too hard to differentiate themselves from Marvel, or not DC. WB is trying a little too hard to differentiate themselves from what Marvel is doing, and in the process, they are kind of pulling out the spirit of what these films are supposed to be.
Yeah,
that's fair.
No, that's a good point.
And, I agree with that. And to the point of Wonder Woman, in that case, I don't feel like that they will and really need to rely on extended cuts for that one, just because it seems so succinct in terms of this trailer. It already is like, I feel like living up to the hype of like what a Wonder Woman's film should be. And this is coming from like, this is not with like my DC like rose colored goggles on, which like will accept almost anything at this point. But like from like a true like hardcore like DC fanboy of like, you know, knowing this character ever since I was young and seeing how they are representing her in the film and the look and the style and the action, the adventure, the love, the ambassador of peace, all of it coming together. Like this honestly seems like a super strong movie that does not need to rely on the kind of, I guess you'd say, gimmick of an extended cut. Like people just want Wonder Woman in her full glory.
Mm-hmm. Well, we deserve it.
Yeah,
we deserved it for 50 years now.
Right.
So one more thing about the Suicide Squad edition, something that I also thought was kind of weird. The Blu-ray, I mean the digital edition comes out an entire month before the Blu-ray, and like usually they do 2 weeks. So I thought it was like, this is kind of scary that they're. I mean, not that that's a big anything is wrong or anything. I've never seen that before where it's that far out. So
yeah, that was interesting.
But no, I mean, I'm still definitely gonna buy it on the 15th of November.
Of course you are.
It has been
fanboys. Y'all are fanboys.
I stand.
You like Harley? You like your favorite?
Harley is my boo for always and forever.
No, me. All right, I'm done. So with that said, it's time for Save Point. This is our weekly, well, not weekly, but our usual video game review, news and reviews.
It's the thing we do like sometimes when there's video game stuff to talk about.
But I get to talk about Gears of War 4. I'm going to give a short, easy review. I'm not going to go to dig into deeps and how it's been with me for 12 years now. I've met a lot of my online friends through it. My favorite multiplayer games, although I'm terrible at it now. But Gears of War 4, I will say, first off, multiplayer is still everything about that game. The campaign actually surprised me, though. The story at this time is actually pretty good. It's followable. They got 3 new characters, a black guy, a white guy, and I think a racially ambiguous woman. I can't tell exactly who she is yet. I apologize. I think she's Native American.
Hey, what?
Kind of cool.
At least the worst represented minority.
Yeah.
Look at that. Shout out.
So no, story-wise, it's cool. Graphically, this is the most impressive like Xbox One game that is out right now. Like you can tell they put their foot in it or whatever. It was also kind of random. It was announced during the launch that Universal picked up the rights to. So there will be a Gears of War movie in 2019. I'm not sure how I feel about that because video game movies are,
Sure, video game movies always go well. Like they have a history.
100%.
Right?
Like 1,000%.
I will say, I am kind of looking forward to Assassin's Creed. I will say that the Assassin's Creed movie kind of looked fine to me. But
no.
What's new about the game? Weapons. There's a lot of new weapons. They've also fixed like the ranking system as far as when you're going to if you're a newbie to online, they actually have a casuals section, so you're not in there with the elite players that's been playing for 10 years in your life. So it's kind of a funner experience. They even have it where you don't have to play competitively against people. You can actually team up with your friends and go against a computer, whether it be a horde mode or just a regular team deathmatch. Kind of cool. You think, and it's funny because I haven't played Gears of War in like a year, so it was a cool refresher on getting back in controls, although I still get my butt handed to me no matter what mode it is. I would say outside of that, this game is extremely safe. They didn't try nothing new. It's like as safe as Drake's Views album that came out earlier, where it's just literally they know the formula that is going to get them money, so they just like make it look prettier and they get all the
video game control.
So outside of that, no. One of the cool things it has Xbox One and PC supports a Play Anywhere feature. So once you buy it digitally, you can play it on PC and Xbox One. Also, that gives the people that have that are PC gamers, they can actually play with Xbox players. So I was playing Horde the other night, and there was a guy.
They have an unfair advantage.
This is very true. But they were like typing me like directions as well because they didn't have a headset. So I thought that was really cool. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, Gears of War 8 out of 10 for me. Like it's just an easy, fun game. If you're not a big fan of it or whatever, I say at least try it once. Super duper gory. Do not get your kids to play it. Those parents that listen to this show, obviously. And yeah, that's a save point.
Yay.
Awesome. So moving on to graphic novel must read. This issue, we will be discussing Detective Comics' Rise of the Batman. Now, I don't know if you know this about me, but Tim Drake is my favorite character. I know, it's shocking. Calm down, right?
This is news to me. I've never heard this before.
Ain't no way. It's the first time.
Everybody breathe. I know. I finally admit it to everyone. So,
thank you.
Detective Comics is now featuring Tim Drake post-Convergence, and so I obviously had to read it. The writer, James Tynion, was a huge fan of Tim Drake, so I felt in good hands that he would handle this character and the story well, which he did. The story starts with Azrael being hunted and beaten within an inch of his life by dangerous drones at St. Michael's Cathedral. Batman has to solve the mystery of who's behind these swarm of drones who have been following Gotham's heroes and how to stop them before they're next. He enlists the help of his co-leader, Batwoman, fan favorite Red Robin as lieutenant, and spoiler, Orphan, i.e. Cassandra Cain, she used to be Batgirl, and Clayface as soldiers. Yep.
Hey.
James Tynion's voice for these characters are superb. Orphan is a woman of few words. As some might know, she was taught to fight, not to speak. So suffice it to say, she is a badass. Spoiler, who I think is actually the heart of the team. She's caring yet tough, and her character has oftentimes been mishandled horribly.
I just want to interrupt real fast to say that Ethan said a bad word just now.
Yeah, he did. He definitely did. Swear jar for Luke Cage.
Language. um, Also, he doesn't write Batman as the Bat jerk, which so many people do. He's layered.
Yes.
He's distant but still human. His heart to heart with Kate Kane, who is Batwoman, and him finally admitting to her that they are actually cousins, which, you know, she knew that he was Bruce Wayne the whole time. So he's like, oh, you know, and she's like, yeah, I'm not stupid. So that part was cool, and it gave credence and credit to her character. Kate Kane is also written very well, coming off of Greg Rucka, who's obviously one of the best writers that comic books has to offer. And J.H. Williams' run of Batwoman in the pre-New 52 universe is a tall order, but Tynion was able to do it justice so very splendidly. Tynion handled her life as a Bat hero with her complex, personal, masterful way of dealing with like her ex-girlfriend. It's kind of convoluted with Renee Montoya. Some people might know her from like season 1 of Gotham, who is her ex-lover. Yes. Did you say question? Oh, crush. Okay.
It's Renee Montoya is the question. My bad.
Oh, I was like, oh, you had a question. Who is her ex-lover, and it's handled very realistically. Like Kate is somewhat selfish in this relationship, and having calling Renee over, despite knowing that she still has romantic feelings for her, but she's so kind of overcome with having to deal with what's going on in her Bat life that it kind of takes a toll in her personal life. And of course, Tim Drake is handled so very well. Like, you don't understand. I've been waiting for years for Tim Drake to be written this well again. Like, I spent the past 3 years not reading anything really about Tim Drake because I like Teen Titans. No. And it's clear that Tynion loves this character. As Batman states, Red Robin has the best tactical mind of any partner I've worked with. His knowledge and experience is vital. And that just gives it gave me life, because like he's such an awesome and strong character that I feel like in recent history has been pushed to the side for he who shall not be named. Damian Wayne.
I thought you meant Baltimore. My bad.
Same difference. And so in this story, Tim has the difficult decision of deciding whether or not he truly wants to be the superhero, to have the superhero life, because he's so brilliant that he can literally do anything that he wants, and he has the Ivy University's Genius Grant, which means that he can, essentially leave and like go to school there. So he has to decide which one is more important, which one does he want to do versus what does he feel like he owes to society. So that is an obstacle in his path that I always found very intriguing, because Tim Drake doesn't come from an origin of like a truly like hardcore painful past. It comes from his true genuine want of helping people. Any bad areas of the story, and there really aren't many, but my issue is that Clayface, partially the inclusion of Clayface, there's kind of been this thing where like now a lot of like villains are joining these hero teams with like Legends of Tomorrow, and now with this Detective Comics, and like I guess it's partly because like it's hard to navigate the waters of like having a villain just become like kind of good without like a really good exposition. But then like beyond that, I just feel like I don't get a very strong sense of his character. This Clayface is the original version, Basil Carlo, who was an actor before he becomes Clayface. It felt like a missed opportunity with this character, as his attempt at comic relief makes him feel almost incompetent as opposed to a hero. It makes me question his acting ability. He kind of seems more like a joke, and it's hard to take him seriously. But literally, aside from that, the whole series was perfect. The ending, which I don't really want to spoil, where something pretty major happens, and I have a bunch of theories about it, but I really want people to check it out. But it involves Tim Drake. And I at first was worried because it said that he might die, and I will leave it at that. But essentially, I'm not jumping off of a bridge, so clearly it did not go badly. So that is my review of Detective Comics: Rise of the Batman.
Awesome. Thank you, good sir.
Yes.
I appreciate that. Definitely check that out at your local bookstore. Support comic books, you guys.
Yes.
Always forget to mention that.
Drake.
Support comic books.
And Tim Drake.
All right, now it's time for Netflix and kill.
Wait. You right when you said it.
I think it's okay. So just to let you know, I'm sure Zencaster's catching it. It's Hangouts is acting up.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
It's cool.
Once
again,
I just couldn't hear
it's
it.
time
Like,
for Netflix and kill. Christmas. Sweet Christmas. Our reviews of recent movies and TV, and this week we will be taking down Luke Cage.
Now I'm back again because y'all keep making me lead everything. So, Luke Cage is a Marvel Comics character created in the early 70s at the height of the blaxploitation film genre. For those who do not know, and I guess haven't seen the show yet because you find all this out on the show, Luke Cage is an ex-convict imprisoned for a crime that he did not commit, and he gained superhuman strength and unbreakable skin while incarcerated. Luke Cage was one of the earliest major black superheroes and the first one to headline his own comic series, even before Black Panther, who came into being before him. The Netflix series stars Michael Coulter, and it tells exactly that story in deep detail, and it is excellent, and you should all watch it. Now let's talk about it.
Absolutely. Hey, just to let you guys know, we're just gonna get right into spoilers. The show is free to watch on Netflix, so get your behind over there.
And you've had like 2 weeks, so
you've had 2 weeks.
Get your life.
Literally, that's 2 weeks too long that you haven't seen this movie.
How dare you?
I dug it. I would rank it. All right, so Daredevil season 1 is my favorite.
Yeah.
Thing of Netflix. Marvel Netflix series. I would say Luke Cage is like a tie with Daredevil 2, right? Because the second season of Daredevil was my second favorite thing, and then Jessica Jones is last. But no, I know overall, no, I thought it was dope. What can I say? I will say I'm not that familiar with Luke Cage as a part of knowing that he wears yellow. He's super strong. He's impervious to bullets. He's black. I've known Tyrese has been wanting to play this guy forever, but Tyrese wants to play any black person that's a superhero.
He wants work. That's what Tyrese wants.
So Mike Coulter was a amazing choice as this character. He has when he steps into a room, he kind of just takes over the room. Like you're like, oh shit, Luke Cage is here. No matter what scene he's in, like he demands the presence. My favorite thing about him is like he would tell jokes, but he knew like the right intonation to use it and like timing to say it, and it never felt too cheesy.
Yeah.
I thoroughly appreciated the nod to I will say for trying to fit that type of character into this Netflix show and how unique he is or whatever, like they did a very good job of wrapping everything up in like a 13 episode run. I was entertained the entire time.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely felt a relation to Daredevil in a way that I guess isn't too surprising, but just in terms of like it feeling slow moving in a good way where there's a lot of character development, and I'm watching it like forgetting like, oh yeah, this is supposed to be like a superhero show, which to me is awesome. I can understand if people like don't necessarily like that, but I always care about the motivations of the person behind the quote unquote mask. Of course, like nobody like wears masks in this world, but the proverbial mask rather than the hero that they pretend to be. And this is what's awesome about these Netflix series is that they really take their time in uncovering who these people are.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And definitely. And with Luke Cage, I definitely get a sense of who he is. And this is a very challenging role that Mike was able to pull off brilliantly. Like there was something so very like true about his portrayal as it didn't come off as like either hammy or too hard or too soft. Like it just felt right. And I don't know, there's a weird calming presence that like I got, even though he's like getting shot up and like doing crazy stuff. Like there's something about his like his very like peaceful, like almost gentle giant nature that I really like loved to watch. Like a fighter that can get into a ring and win every battle, who doesn't want to fight? Like there's such like a great story within that.
There's like a tragedy to it. Like it's
poetic.
Yeah. So Luke Cage to me was easily my favorite of the Netflix series, by a pretty wide margin. But I would put and my list is actually like fundamentally different from Troy's, because I would put Daredevil season 2 last, Jessica Jones and Daredevil even in the middle. So I'm seeing that the creators of these Netflix Marvel shows are clearly learning with each new series and season that they put out, because I think the storytelling is just improving more and more. I found, like, for example, I found parts of Daredevil season 2 to be very, very confusing and hard to follow. Whereas Jessica Jones, the character development there felt kind of awkward at times, and a little bit too slow, and then suddenly things have changed.
I would say it was more like an abrupt stop in Jessica Jones, and then to start back up again.
Right, that's what I'm trying to say. But like with Luke Cage, it was such like a gradual thing, and I think actually the most pronounced character development that they did on the show was with Mariah Dillard, who will end up becoming Luke Cage's archenemy, Black Mariah, because she started out as sort of like, a politician with a seedy past who really just wanted to do the right thing. And over the course of the series, she became this very, very dark, like just terrible character, far worse than either of the other two villains that were on the show, just because she was so spiteful in the way that she did things and so sneaky. And I just think that they handled her very, very well. I also think that the other villains, especially Cottonmouth, played by Mahershala Ali, I have never known how to say that man's name. But he was so just like scary. I was afraid of him as a bad guy. He was like we've mentioned before that Marvel has a problem putting out great villains, and the Netflix series are just killing it with this, because we got the Purple Man, we got
Punisher, we got Fisk,
right? We got Fisk, we got Cottonmouth, we got Diamondback. It's like they are absolutely killing this, and I'm impressed. So I loved Luke Cage, really did. Can't wait to watch it.
Tell me you didn't think at one point Fisk was going to show up in this season.
Oh, absolutely.
I was like, come on.
Well, so like the one character that we've gotten that proves that these series are all tied together is Claire Temple, the nurse.
Oh Lord.
And this, for the first time, like, she became a prominent character in the show as like a main character, because previously she had been just sort of a supporting character. The nurse sort of character is obviously typically going to be pushed to the background, but Rosario Dawson's version of Claire Temple is just proving that there's so much more to this woman than, I know how to fix, a cut. I know how to sew up a cut. She's almost like a superhero in her own right. And I mean, the whole conception of her is a combination of a nurse character named Claire Temple, or no, she's not a nurse. She's sort of like a background love interest named Claire Temple, and then the night nurse. She's combined with the night nurse, which was actually its own comic book series, and I'm really, really hoping that Rosario Dawson gets her own. And that they use that to bring some more lesser known characters in, so we can see some more of them. But Rosario Dawson is killing this. I love it.
Yeah. Did you? I was so happy that they did that, because I mean that they've actually said it, but they're very smart about how they're saying these things, right? Because I remember in Daredevil season 2 when Fisk finally said he's a kingpin of the prison. I thought that was awesome too. I will say, as soon as I think it's the 5th episode, and they start with "Long Live the Chief" by Jadena, I was like, Lord, and then they show
the soundtrack.
Oh, the soundtrack, man.
That was something else.
But Glorious Rosario, like she just like I said, whoever commands the room. If Luke is in the room and then Rosario has to come in the room after, Rosario's taking over the room.
I'm
Here's
just
every
match
single
all this energy.
But wait, let's not. Oh, go ahead, Ethan. Sorry.
I loved Rosario Dawson in this role, but then again, I love Rosario Dawson.
Hands down.
But yeah, I love that they took the time to just like let us see her like live her life and like really realize that this is the life that she wants. Like clearly this is fate like guiding her down this path. And the first episode where we see her and her mother in the restaurant and kind of like the calling that she feels to go to action was really, I feel like, necessary in order for us to understand like where she's been from the previous seasons and kind of like this unwitting helper to now being a active participant in the war against villains.
Right. And what another thing that's interesting about Luke Cage is that on top of being so very, very black, just by the virtue of being set in Harlem and telling stories about black people, there are a lot of very powerful women on this show. There's Mariah Dillard, played by Alfre Woodard. There's Claire Temple, played by Rosario Dawson, but there's also Misty Knight, played by Simone Missick, and she is just absolutely excellent. Like, she's such a good foil for the good guy, because she has so much agency of her own. She is very much, again, another superhero of her own in her own way. And I don't know. I'm loving how they've crafted this world where like women are not second fiddles to the men at all, you know?
Yes. It's perfect.
They're strong, independent women that don't need no man. But
in some ways, I think they did it better than Jessica Jones, actually.
In a way,
I
yeah.
see that. I have to give the MVP honestly to Simone Cook. First of all, like Misty Knight is such a cool name. Like I was partially on board just for that, but like that role would typically be like super annoying. Whereas like Luke Cage, I know it's you. Stop doing that, you know. But she played it with such a diverse and complex layers of emotion and her connection to the city and to pop, where like you understood where she was coming from, and she never just kind of like felt like this plot device to kind of act in opposition against Luke Cage. And just like she felt like a full-fledged person aside from Luke Cage, which was awesome to see. Like I could imagine like seeing like a detective show with Misty Knight, and to me that's a sign of a great writer and a great character.
Yeah. And I would say, I mean, kind of sliding him out of the, I forgot his name. No, it's actually, his name is, the actor's name is Theo Rossi. He played Shades. I thought he was pretty cool too. I liked, I mean, I've been a fan of his since he was in Sons of Anarchy. And it was cool to see him get a role like this because he shined. I was hoping to get maybe a little more from him. I mean, like just not more from him acting, but like more to see more things from him. But with like obviously with how the show ends up, we're going to see more of him. But I will be kind of skipping back to the music. The music in this thing. First off, it was okay. The whole show is executive produced by Adrian Young and Ali Shaheed Muhammad. Ali Shaheed Muhammad is one of my favorite producers of all time. He was the lead producer for Tribe Called Quest, which is my favorite hip hop group of all time. So you get like these basically remix for like a remixed idea of 70s blaxploitation background music, but like with the cooler like hip hop vibe of modern times. And then you get original tracks by like Faith Evans and Raphael Sadiq. And when in the first episode, Raphael Sadiq plays in a club and it's an original song, I could not believe Raphael Sadiq was in this club playing an original song. Like Raphael Sadiq is one of my favorite artists of all time. He was originally in Tony. His voice is iconic. He is like an amazing producer across the board. He plays like too many instruments. He writes so many songs, and just as soon as like that's the stamp. Him being in the first episode, like all right, well the rest of the season is about to be I will say also MVP. Well, my MVP was his name is it Turkle, the guy, and Daredevil beat him up. He beats him up every season. He killed, like, he wasn't in it that much, but when he was doing stuff, he was so good.
Yeah, I just picture him as the guy that's just like, word on the street is. That's how I view it. That's what he felt like. But I love his character and the continuity from Daredevil and the Netflix other series.
Yeah, it's interesting how they're handling the connected worlds. I need the characters to show up on each other's shows, though. I hope after Defenders that they stop pretending that they're just like kind of around but not really, because I don't know. There's so much potential for team ups. I just want the team ups. Give me the team ups.
I was definitely expecting Jessica Jones to show up sometime in this season. I will say that I thought it was going to be, but I feel like there was already kind of too many women trying like love going on.
I was about to.
I didn't.
What are we gonna fight?
No. What, you think I was gonna say too many women? Hell no. No, please. Luke Cage could have been a woman. I don't care about that. I'm talking about the fact that he had the kind of love interest in Misty Knight, the love interest in Claire, kind of, and like, if we added Jessica onto it too, I'm like, all right, well, this Luke Cage is a hoe.
It's a love square, Troy.
Square love rectangle. So what I will say,
what I kind of feel about that is that, like, they definitely wanted, like, Luke Cage to stand on his own, and like, I personally really wanted Jessica Jones to come in, but I felt like they wanted him to have his own spotlight, much like Jessica Jones, like they wanted her to have hers, because really, like, Luke Cage and her could have just like teamed up for the rest of the series and just like dealt with it. But like, oh no, Luke Cage has to go for some reason, so bye.
They'll be married at some point, so there's going to be plenty of opportunity for that. I'm looking forward to when that happens.
I love them together.
Yeah.
I will say, if I have to point a shining light on what I wasn't really too fond of in the season, Diamondback reveal, the entire Diamondback reveal, they could have saved him for maybe next season, because Cottonmouth was so good.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
They killed Cottonmouth too early.
They killed Cottonmouth way too early. I mean, it was a cool way they did it, though. I will say that the build up for that was cool, but I kind of wish, like, they could have swangled it, because, right? But like, he didn't do enough. He didn't do as much as Cottonmouth did to scare it out of me that Cottonmouth is gonna be able to take, especially when he found out the weapon that could actually take down Luke. I'm like, okay, he's a formidable opponent now, because I thought at some point it was going to reveal that Cottonmouth had a power or something like that. Mm-hmm. Same with Shaves. I thought Shaves was going to have a power too, but the swerve that was cool.
It's not too late.
So no, you're right. So I will say, like, he kind of like fell into like this weird hole in Luke Cage near the end, where like Alfred Maria's character was like Alfred Maria and Shade's characters were like the stronger villains of the three. Mm-hmm. And then I liked about the fight scene at the end was the suit. The suit, not like how it looked, but the idea that it was done by Hammer Tech. And the reason why I like that is because Hammer Tech, if you guys remember, in Iron Man 2, remember the main villain in Iron Man 2 that was not Whiplash, but the rival Tony Stark had at the that's Eric Hammer or something like that. That's the guy who created that suit for him. So like, oh, that's cool that they were able to pull something.
I missed that.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's cool that they were able to bring something from Iron Man 2 into that, because it kind of still gives the interconnectivity, of the of the black dude selling the bootlegs of the event of New York. And he was like the word on the street for
about?
That was so good.
Beyonce?
But did you guys have any critiques of the show?
I have critiques of the people who watched the show. If we weren't talking about that.
Well, let's look. Before we get to that, Ethan, do you have any critiques of the show?
It's about to get real. Aside from that first thing that I mentioned, with which, like, I could see how people could not like how it's sometimes slow moving. To be honest, like, they did so many things so well, like just from a Black perspective, and like showing the multi-dimensional storylines and not really showcasing any one person as a villain. Like I feel like if I continue, it's going to go into something positive. So I
you don't have to.
I guess the only thing that I could really like point out is the like lack of maybe it feeling like a superhero show, but then again, that's what Netflix is known for, so it's not really a critique. It's just something that I'm pulling out of nowhere.
Yeah, I think it felt more like a superhero show than Jessica Jones, which literally did not feel like a superhero show to me. And I actually think that was a good Trojan horse to get people who automatically, you know, are turned off by the idea of superpowers. It kind of got them into the world, and now they're interested in what's going to happen next. So I actually think that was a good idea, but I do agree with Ethan. I would like to see some more, you know, superness aside from, you know, being bulletproof. Which is, I mean, that's actually his main power is to be have unbreakable skin. So it makes sense.
Oh wait, I do have a critique. Like his clothing constantly being shot up, like that annoyed me so much. I'm like, oh my god, like I would like seriously be like using the I ain't no hero, pay me. Like that would be my line that Bobby Fischer said, because you're not going to be shooting up my clothes. Like, yes, I'm happy that I'm alive, but I'm not buying new clothes every time I step out of my house.
Especially since he didn't have like well-paying jobs at all. Like, I don't know where he got a lot of clothes. I mean, except for the hoodie he got from Method Man, which, I mean, I'll take one from Method Man.
That was I will say the only time I got mad at that is when he got a suit from Dapper Dan, New York legend. And then that suit got shot up. I'm like, not Dapper Dan's suit.
Well, it wasn't the suit. It was the. Oh wait, it did get shot up. The shirt got shot up at first, and then he was fine. But then the rest.
God, and that suit was fire too.
It was. And I actually meant to text you about it, Troy.
The suit was. Oh my god. Free, go ahead with your rant about people that watch the show.
So I mean, as with anything Black, a certain group of people of America can't handle things that they don't feel like are for them, as everything is for them, and so they're just not used to some things not being for them. And so there were people that had issues with the fact that Luke Cage was a very Black show, and that it focused on Black people and Black settings, and so many characters were Black
in Harlem,
and they seem to miss the fact that until very recently, when gentrification started to kick in the Harlem area, Harlem is Black as a bad word that Troy's not gonna let me say. Nope. And so if you want to complain about, you know, the makeup of this setting, of this show that is basically giving a real portrayal of what that world is like, I want you to complain about how Friends had one Black person on it ever, and that was Gabrielle Union Alway in the later seasons, because that is a much worse offense of misrepresentation. Luke Cage, from the very beginning, was a character that was supposed to like be all about Black power. He was supposed to represent the good of Black people in a time when we did not have positive representation at all. And so it makes perfect sense to take this character and put him in situations that reflect the issues that we have in our own world right now. And so it just blows my mind that like there's this one show that you guys cannot handle that is about a Black man, but like you get 3 other Marvel Netflix shows that are about white people. So I mean, enjoy those. Skip 4 Defender or the Punisher, and 5 if you count Defenders, because that is going to mostly focus on that's going to be 80% white people. So I mean, let's be real. Is your issue that you just don't want to see Black people on TV, or
yes, that's the issue. Period. End of sentence. I mean, look at how many angry people have been so upset at the Marvel movies featuring 3 white men named Chris. Like, it's like literally, like that is the status quo, and that is the issue. Is the fact that like, but that's guess what? That's our day-to-day life. We're constantly being bombarded with media that does not represent us. And then the one time that we do get it, since it doesn't represent you this one time, it's so foreign to you that you can't possibly imagine a world in which this could possibly exist. And even if it does, why does it need to be represented? And this is why, because of your reaction.
That's right.
That is why.
Speak on it. Right. But just to end on a great note, Luke Cage was amazing. Sweet Christmas. You guys got to check it out. Do yourself a favor. We're not going to see him again up until Defenders, which comes out next year, which will be after, I think Defenders, because they're filming Punisher now. They haven't started filming Defenders yet. So it'll be...
I believe that I think I heard they're not going to air Punisher until after Defenders, even though it's being filmed right now. But that may have just been a rumor. We'll see.
Either way, fine with me. So because we get that's what comes out in March. Iron Fist comes out in March, and then Defenders comes out after that. So
the one Ethan does not care about.
I'm not for it. I'm going to watch it, but that story it's been done. So we'll see how they deal with it.
I'm intrigued by the action. But yes.
Yo, that's like your life motto. I'm intrigued by the action.
Whatever, Tim Drake and fun. All right, whatever.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Most importantly, the Blue Ranger is best, and Sean likes him the most. So.
Here we go.
I'll let you have that.
Troy, let's continue on with the show because Ethan's wrong and I
won't. Now just check out Luke Cage. It's on Netflix forever. You'll enjoy it. Seriously, do yourself a favor. Woo. Now for Bout of the Blerds.
Woo!
All right, cool. We're gonna make it very easy, simple, quick. Shotgun answers. If we could get Mike Coulter, Luke Cage, to appear in any future Marvel movie, even if it's done filming right now or whatever, what would you have him in and why?
Spider-Man.
I
knew somebody else was gonna say it.
No, I was gonna say that.
honestly, I want to see him. No. I want to see him in Spider-Man because Spider-Man lives in Queens, which is super close to Harlem. They have fought together in the past. I think that they would have an interesting dynamic with Luke Cage being the gentle giant and Spider-Man being the crazy kid who kind of doesn't know how to control himself when he's having too good of a time. So I think that I think you could almost get like a mentorship better than the one that it looks like we're going to be getting with Peter Parker and Iron Man. I think it'll be fun to see the big black man teaching the crazy kid how to be a better superhero.
That's such a new concept. I will.
I didn't realize that when I said it. Isn't that a Huck Finn?
Yes. Hey, N-word Luke, huh? Okay.
My bad.
Pop. So I will choose actually Captain Marvel, and here's why. It's because I don't really know either of their histories. No, but I think because I guess unlike the Luke Cage and Spider-Man dynamic, like their power sets, this is my assumption, are pretty comparable. I mean, Captain Marvel is very strong. That I do know, and I just feel like. Once again, I don't know too much about Captain Marvel, but she seems like also a complex character, and maybe like they can relate to each other on a almost invulnerable level that other characters don't really get. So that's my choice.
I like that.
Sure. I guess seeing that you swipe my answer from me.
I'm the one I get to have whatever answer.
This is true. I will say the next Captain America movie. I think that would be cool. A cool dynamic. They kind of have. Like the grounded abilities where it's like human-esque or whatever, so it would be cool to see. Because I'm really hoping for this next Captain America movie to be the buddy cop Captain America, where it's just Steve, Bucky, and Sam traveling across, being rogues or whatever, and then they run
that was truly the best part of Civil War. It really was.
It was hands down the best 5 minutes. And so it would be cool for
Personally, I think that they should include the entire Defenders in Captain America. I think that we should have Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Elektra, Daredevil, Jessica Jones.
Elektra! All right.
Everybody.
But anyway, it would be, it'd be cool to see him in that. If you guys, listeners, have any suggestions on what you'll appear him in, I feel like I wanted to say Black Panther just because it's going to be the blackest movie ever.
Me too, but it didn't make sense.
I don't see him leaving Harlem to go to Wakanda. Like
it was too much of a stretch. It would have been ridiculous.
Yeah. Like, it would have been ridiculous. So,
and then the whole cast of Luke Cage is there, including like the people from the neighborhood.
Yes. And then there's this weird thing where they see Alfred Woodard and they're like, "Weren't you in Civil War?"
And the world blows up.
So this is Blerd Culture signing off. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr. Join our Facebook group and rate our show on iTunes. Love us. We love y'all. This is Troy signing out.
This is Ethan. Always forward, forward, always.
And this is Sean, and I just might be the next Bill Gates in the making. You just might be the next Bill Gates in the making. I see it, I want it. I stand, I want it. I dream it, I work hard, I grind till
I...
Bye,
all right, y'all. Peace. Love y'all. Peace.